So, is Destiny 2 Ash and Iron worth playing? That's the question burning through the community right now, especially after all the delays and the massive hype around returning to the Plaguelands. As someone who spent hours grinding through this update, testing the new exotic, and dealing with some seriously frustrating bugs, I've got some mixed feelings to share with you. Let me be upfront about what hits you first when you boot up Ash and Iron. It's rough, really rough. We're talking about a launch so broken that players are getting insta-killed when spawning into new areas. Power progression is completely busted, and some activities are literally unplayable due to soft locks. But beyond the technical disasters, there's actually some interesting content buried underneath all the problems. The centerpiece of this update is the new Reclaim activity, set in the Plaguelands. Now, before you get too excited about revisiting this iconic Destiny location, let me manage your expectations. This isn't the sprawling patrol space from Rise of Iron that many of us remember fondly. Instead, it's a series of smaller zones that you access through the activity itself, similar to how the Dreadnought worked in Heresy. The environments themselves look decent enough, though they're noticeably emptier without the Siva corruption that made the original Plaguelands so visually striking. The Reclaim activity itself is where things get complicated. On paper, it sounds cool. You're fighting Cabal and Fallen under Maya's control, moving between different assault points. And there's even a moment where you can pilot a brig. The enemy density is solid, and when everything works as intended, there are some genuinely fun moments of chaos. But here's the problem. The activity design feels like a step backward from recent successes like Nether or the Coil. Most encounters boil down to repetitive wave clearing with minor variations. Spawn 3 waves, collect 3 things, insert them into 3 objects, repeat. It gets old fast. The boss encounters try to add mechanical complexity with puzzle elements borrowed from past exotic quests, but in match-made activities with random players, these mechanics become exercises in frustration rather than engaging challenges. Picture trying to complete a symbol matching sequence while your teammates shoot every glowing object in sight because they don't understand the mechanic. Now, let's talk about what's actually working well in this update. The new exotic pulse rifle Malpas is genuinely interesting. It's another rocket-assisted frame like Mint Retrograde, but with a twist. You embed rounds in enemies and detonate them manually for extra damage and crowd control. The numbers are impressive too. In my testing, a single burst plus detonation dealt 2,655 damage compared to Mint's 2,222 with elemental honing active. But here's where it gets really spicy. This weapon generates super energy like it's going out of style. I'm talking about getting 75% of your super back from just one magazine and detonation cycle. The trade-off is DPS timing. While Mint delivers all its damage instantly, Malpas requires you to shoot, hold reload, wait for the animation, then get your damage. In low-level content where you want things dead immediately, Mint wins hands down. But for higher-level activities where you need that suspension crowd control and don't mind the setup time, Malpas has real potential. It's the kind of weapon that might not dominate speedruns, but could become essential for Grandmaster content. The Season Archive system is another genuine win. Being able to access old Season Pass cosmetics and ornaments through an in-game kiosk feels like a long overdue quality of life improvement. Sure, it costs silver to unlock passes you didn't buy originally, but the Chronologue currency system means free-to-play players can still earn these rewards over time. Some standout recommendations if you're diving in: the Frost and Night's Chill shaders from Season of Undying are absolute must-haves. The Virtuous ornaments from Dawn remain some of Bungie's best work, and the Apillos Following set from Haunted is still incredible for fashion builds. But we need to address the elephant in the room. This launch has been a disaster from a technical standpoint. Power progression is broken across all portal activities, with drops coming in lower than they should be. The featured exotic restrictions have gotten even more limiting, and the portal scoring system now forces you to pile on negative modifiers just to achieve ranks you could easily hit before the update. It's that classic Destiny problem where you grind just to get back to where you started, except now it's affecting the entire endgame. The community reception has been predictably split. Veterans who loved the original Plague Lands are disappointed by the limited scope and reused assets. Players focused on power progression are frustrated by the broken systems. But there are folks enjoying the new exotic and appreciating the quality of life improvements to things like weapon recoil and enhanced perks finally feeling enhanced. Here's where I land on this. Both sides are right in their own way. If you're someone who is hoping for a full Plague Lands patrol space with the depth and secrets of the original, you're going to be let down. This is clearly a smaller-scale content drop that's trying to stretch nostalgia further than the actual content can support. If you're looking for smooth, polished gameplay experiences right now, definitely wait. The technical issues aren't just minor inconveniences, they're actively making the game worse to play. However, if you're the kind of player who enjoys experimenting with new exotic weapons and can tolerate some jank while Bungie works out the bugs, there's something here worth exploring. Malpas alone has enough unique mechanics to shake up loadout choices, and the super generation potential could lead to some wild build crafting. The seasonal archive also provides months' worth of fashion hunting for players who missed out on older content. My recommendation comes with a big asterisk attached. Wait a week or two for Bungie to address the most glaring technical problems before diving in seriously. When you do jump back in, approach it as a testing ground for new builds rather than a major content expansion. If you're someone who burned out on portal grinding before this update, nothing here is going to change your mind about that core gameplay loop. Ashen Iron feels like an update caught between ambitions and reality. There are genuinely good ideas buried under technical problems and repetitive activity design. It's not the triumphant return to the Plague Lands that many hoped for, but it's also not completely without merit. Just maybe wait for Bungie to fix the game-breaking stuff first. What did you think of Ashen Iron? Did the new exotic hook you despite the technical problems? Or are you waiting for something more substantial? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if this helped you decide whether to jump back in, and subscribe for more Destiny coverage as this update hopefully gets the fixes it desperately needs.